Alright boys, welcome back to another video. Nick's Daily here. Today we're going to be reacting to the Landry Shamet injury. It's so frustrating because to this point, we're talking about the game being nearly 24 hours ago and there's still no update on Shamet. I'm just going to go with the fact that he's going to miss significant time because that way we can talk about, well, what's next for the Knicks, imagining that they go ahead and they end up making a move to the roster, which I'll tell you right now, I think the obvious choice would be either TJ Warren, who's on our team right now, of course, on a non-guaranteed contract, or we could reach back out to Marcus Morris and bring him in because people in the Knicks organization thought before he ended up declining our training camp invite that he would be a good piece. He'd be a good depth piece for our bench. I think the reason why Morris declined it was just because we waived him after the cat trade. He probably took it personally. But if he does come back, he'd be great. He's been here. We know he can shoot. He can score. Yeah, he doesn't provide the spacing of a Landry Shamet. But to this point, we just need a guy who can score the basketball, that's played a lot in his career, a veteran type of guy, because we know that that's what Shamet does. So we want to try to replace him to our best ability. It is unfortunate that Shamet, of course, had a really good camp. He's had a pretty decent preseason. He hasn't shot the ball well, but you can tell that the spacing is there, the high IQ plays. Him and Cameron Payne have very much impressed me. I like what we have going on there, but it's just not really great news. You could tell that Shamet was in very excruciating pain. It just did not look very good. That's why I'm just going to assume that it was significant. For all I know, maybe they clear the air and he's only going to miss a week, right? And he'll stay on the roster. And then we'll give the other spot to Ariel Hukporti, who we'll probably talk about in a little bit later in this video. But if the Knicks do decide to waive Shamet, they're only going to take a $15,000 cap hit because that was protected when he signed that contract. So that's not going to stress them very much. I do think that I'm just looking at TJ Warren and what he's done in the preseason, scoring the basketball. He's only played in 2 games. The last one, he was shooting very efficiently. He was getting to his spots. And then the game before that, he only played in 4 minutes and had 4 points. He can get hot and hurry, and he's healthy too. We haven't seen TJ Warren healthy in years, and he seems to finally be. So I think he's a guy that can replace the scoring of Shamet. But I'm also looking at it for Alec Burks. I think he would be our Alec Burks. If we need a guy to come in, if there's an injury and get hot, that's exactly TJ Warren. I think he can pretty much do exactly what Shamet does, because it was just unrealistic to assume that, hey, look, Shamet's going to be our Dante DiVincenzo replacement, because that's why we needed Shamet, was after losing Devo to that cat trade. But just looking at what we have in our current team, we do have plenty of scorers, we do have plenty of shooters. Coming off our bench, we've got Payne, we've got Kolek. Of course, we got a guy like a Deuce McBride. These guys can shoot the basketball. And then we've got Achua, who seems to have worked on his 3-ball. He was 2 of 3 from 3 in last night's win. And then we've got Jericho Sims and Ariel Hukporti. I think our bench is going to be fine. Losing Shamet definitely hurts because he was going to make the roster. He was going to get consistent run with our second unit. But I don't think it's the end of the world, if I'm being completely honest. And yeah, in a perfect world scenario, again, we go in with Shamet and Hukporti, and we would be $300,000 below the second apron, which is exactly where you want to be. You don't want to go above that, right? But it's not a perfect world. Things happen. Preseason, when you play your guys 20, 30 minutes, it has a chance to happen, right? And obviously on the flip side of that, if you don't play your guys a lot of minutes, then they're going to be rusty to start off the season. So it's basically, you have to make a decision. Tibbs decided to get his guys ready, get in game shape before the season kicks off on Tuesday against the Boston Celtics. And unfortunately, it resulted in an injury. But I do think the Knicks will be fine. We've seen the next man up mindset. Again, Chuma Okeke could be an option. TJ Warren could be an option. Marcus Morris Sr. could be an option. I think TJ Warren makes the most sense. You guys know that. Actually, the most viewed video on my channel since in the last 2 years was actually a TJ Warren video, and it makes a lot of sense because when he's been healthy, he's been one of the highly most effective scorers in basketball. Yeah, the bubble was 4 years ago to this point, but I think Warren is a guy who he knows how to score, he knows how to play the game, and he's just a veteran. He's 31 to this point. He's played a lot of basketball. I think he's our best option. I think you can argue that he's even a better option than Landry Shamet when he's healthy. Not exactly in terms of fit, but just in terms of overall ability. So I do think the Knicks will be fine. Maybe they go back to free agency and they pick up someone. There's a lot of names available. Maybe they go down to the G League. Maybe they run, like you guys can see on the thumbnail, maybe they run Kevin McCullough Jr. and Ariel Hukporti. But on the bad side of that is now you have 2 rookies, second-round rookies. Are they going to be ready to go, right, if called upon? Tyler Kolek's a guy that I don't think anyone's doubting if he's ready to go when called upon. I don't think anyone's even really going to doubt Huck Porty that much, considering how he's played in the preseason. But in terms of Kevin McCullough Jr., I think he's a guy we haven't even seen him yet, right? I mean, we've seen Huck Porty look good, we've seen Kulik look good, we haven't seen McCullough, so that's like really the only reason I doubt him. I mean, yeah, sure, in college he was a very athletic, two-way type of guy, but in terms of the Knicks, he hasn't played in the summer league and he hasn't played in the preseason, so it's way too early to say that, right? But financially speaking, yeah, like it would be great to have two rookies, but then if they have to play, well, you have two second-round rookies, right? So that's kind of where I'm at. But in just terms of what I saw last night, definitely a right step moving forward, because the bench ends up going out there against the first-string Hornets. It plays exceptionally well. The Knicks didn't shoot the ball the greatest. I mean, they ended up shooting it 30. This is the wrong game. This is the one where Brunson played. Oh, I guess it actually is the right one. Let me pull that up. Hold on. Yeah, we end up shooting 36% from three, 43% from the field. Not the worst in the world, but it was not. It was not the most efficient game. We made up for it, of course, with rebounding the basketball, getting second chance points, and just moving it around, right? 28 assists is very good, but 59 rebounds to 45 is dominant. The Hornets ended up, I don't have turnovers on this, but we forced a lot of turnovers. I thought the Hornets looked sloppy with the ball. We just got out there and we played harder. We wanted it more. It's really what it comes down to. And Tibbs has installed that mindset to the first, second, and third string unit, because TJ Warren played in 19 minutes. Like Porty played in 22 minutes. Dadier played in 28 minutes. I mean, Dadier's not even going to make the roster, guys. He's going to be in the G League. Kolek played 24 minutes. He's our third string. So you have third string guys, especially late in this game, being able to step up and make plays and help us win. And then the second unit was magnificent. Presta Chua 20 and 16. Jericho Sims has 10 boards in 20 minutes. Campaign 16, 8 and 5, just stuffing the stat sheet. Miles McBride 18 points. Of course, 4 of 11 from 3 has 5 assists. And then Shamet was kind of the one guy who, he didn't have the best night statistically, but he did score 8 points in 20 minutes, which is what we're going to miss. This is his ability to stretch the floor and knock down timely shots. The thing that I loved about Shamet was, even if he is shooting poorly from the field, he's not going to let that factor into his next shot. He's going to shoot it with confidence, no matter if it's off the dribble, spotting up, on the move. It just doesn't really matter. So yeah, Landry Shamet is going to be missed, but it's the same thing when we lost Depot. It was next man up, Shamet, and now we lose him, it's next man up. So I'm hoping that it ends up being TJ Warren. I would not mind at all Marcus Morris Sr. Chuma Okeke, I wouldn't really mind that necessarily. I do think that he's a younger player. I think has a lot to offer. We've seen good stretches of him. But I just want somebody who can score and who can shoot. That Alec Burks type of role against the Pacers, where he came in, we were short man, we needed a fresh leg, and boom, instantly he's hitting shots, and we just look much better with him out there. So that's kind of where we're at, guys. But yeah, in terms of just the last preseason game, it's going to be Friday against the Wizards, and then, like I said, Tuesday in Boston, Massachusetts, TD Garden, taking on the reigning defending champion Boston Celtics with their ring ceremony. The season's here, man. I remember literally finishing up game 7 of the second round against the Pacers and being like, man, we've got to wait 4 or 5 months for Knick basketball. But here we are, literally less than a week away from that. It's going to be awesome. I think Jalen Brunson's going to end up winning MVP. I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to have a monster season. We just need to stay healthy, though, right? We need to stay healthy. Yes, the 1 seed would be great, but if we can go into the playoffs with all of our guys, all of our starters specifically, we've got a great chance to win it, which would be our first championship since 1973. But it's your boy, Knicks Daily, guys. I'm about to sign out. Hopefully you boys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.